Going on here is I'm dealing with chisel on doing my air-to-water intercooler. There's the plate. I got it in the car. It's all bolted down, ready to rock and roll. So now you get the basic idea. So we are moving over here to Schuler's car, and we are putting in a new front windshield. Hey, glad you guys are here. So, this is the brains that we're going to do for the ignition and trans brake and nitrous and all that type of stuff. This is the aluminum plate that I ended up making up over at the other shop. As you can tell, I polished it. And, hey man, why do you got all these little red marks? Well, I've already gone through, I've had to notch this corner for part of the roll cage. I've already drilled my 4 basic holes in it that I need to make it nice and centered onto that. Now I'm transferring over the 7AL box, the NOS programmable controller. I got a leash, 1-stage nitrous controller. For you guys that don't know on these are fantastic. I mean, these are maybe 80 bucks, something like that. I could be wrong. What this does is it hooks up your purge valve, your nitrous. It's going to wire in off the trans brake. Basically what it's going to allow you to do is hit the trans brake button, mash the pedal. It hits the micro switch. Well, the nitrous wants to go off, right? Well, this sets it up to where the nitrous doesn't go off. When you release the trans brake, you instantly take off. It's almost like, and don't kill me on this one, but it's pretty much like a ground. Like if you took the ground off, so you're using the trans brake to kind of like pull the ground off of the micro switch, and then as soon as you release it, it reactivates it. In that split second, it's faster than what you're going to be with a button. These things are awesome. They hook up super simple. As you can see, it's just battery on, accessory, trans brake, auxiliary. That would be your purge valve, so it's even got a nice relay in there for your purge valve, and then your NOS right here, and then you just power it up right. This thing is so simple, and it simplifies it because it's simple. Duh. But it makes life so much nicer. So this is going on there, and then I also have this power distribution block that's going to go on there, and at that point, then everything goes on. Then we can finally bolt this into the car and then start the wiring process. So, all right, you guys, kind of the old standard, you know, measure twice, drill once, make sure you got everything set up. Very basic, nothing too crazy, but just make sure you take the time to lay out whatever your items are going to be on your plate. You'll be all right. It's all good. All right, so we're back over here. Got all my holes drilled, ready to rock and roll there. And what we're going to use is some button head screws. We're going to make this look really nice. Let me go grab some here. You know, I mean, you can do your regular nuts and bolts and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, looks good. But if we want to make it look a little bit nicer, then we're going to go through and do some button heads. I mean, you can go to Ace Hardware, stuff like that. Plus we're doing a nylock nut, so it never comes off. And just some nice button heads. So, first things first, we're just going to go through, get everything just kind of set up, ready to go. I'm pretty sure I got it all correct, so we're just going to do a mock-up. I have to apologize, guys. My phone ended up dying on me, and I've had to plug it in for about the past 15 minutes or so. So I kept moving forward. It ended up dying on me when I was trying to do the time-lapse video. So I apologize, guys. I should have had my phone, but I got out of work. I came over here with the plate, and I just wanted to get it at least in the car and done. So that's where I'm at. So I'm going to show you guys that, okay? So there's the plate. I got it in the car. It's all bolted down, ready to rock and roll. So now you get the basic idea. Everything is super, once the transmission tunnel's in, everything's super easy to get to. Your pills are on the top. All the wiring's facing outwards. So if I have to quick do anything, you know, we can get to the screen super easy for the programmable controller. And then I just use some of the 3M little Velcro strips, and they hold pretty good. Then you can see the distribution block for the power. There's the leash controller and all that. And it's just a super simple, basic, you know, nice polished aluminum panel. And then that's the ground that I have over there. And obviously now you can understand why I ended up making that chunk taken out of the corner. And then I have Teflon squares that are inside there. That's going to help with vibration. So I don't have a whole lot going through this, or it's going to soak up some of those vibrations. So that's what those little squares are down there. Those are Teflon. Plus, it helps for, you know, not drawing current through it. But again, I have bolts that are, you know, screwed into the metal portion of the roll cages, so that kind of knocks that equation out. But it's more for the vibrations, which is just nice to have. So that's about as far as I'm going to go on that today. I just wanted to get that in, so now I can start bringing the wiring. Now I can start bringing the wiring to it, and we can get moving on this thing. And you know, it's going to take a couple of weekends to get things wired up, but we still got to wait on headers and things like that. So it's only middle of the week. The next video that you see, this is going to be a continuation. I'm not shutting it down right here, but yeah, I am for the day. I want to go home, go get some food, spend some time with the family. And then we'll start doing some wiring. So I'm going to be, well, I'll probably look exactly the same. I'm a white t-shirts and blue jean kind of guy. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so now we're on the black car. What's going on here is I'm dealing with Chisel on doing my air-to-water intercooler. And he was cool enough to send me a couple of schematics or drawings that he does on different types of air-to-water intercoolers. And I'm just trying to figure out what one I want to run. He can literally do anything custom that I want, and I think I'm going to send him some dimensions. I was looking at trying to fit it in the corner here, fit it in the corner over here, and you know, with the F2, you know, being right here, missing the tires, you know, making sure I don't have any problems in there. And he has one that I saw that kind of made this idea pop, was in this front section here. I got a good chunk of room. Let me grab it. And then what would happen is blower's going to be here. What I would do is I'd come towards radiator support, go through the radiator support, hit the intercooler, come out the other side, and then pop it over here where the fuel cell is, and then just come across kind of in front of the radiator here, follow it up towards the cowl. That way everything's still underneath the cowl hood, or majority of it is underneath the cowl hood. That way it's going to make everything nice, tight package. That's one version that I'm seeing that he has. The other version is, think of like a U shape, right? So we got our inlet outlet, and we got our inlet, we got our outlet. Well, he has one that's like 9.6, about 10 inches deep, and then it's like 13 wide, and it's almost 15 tall. Well, looking at that, here, I'm going to bring you guys over here. Looking at that, where we'd be in this corner over here, 13 wide would be this way, which will fit, not a problem. I got more like probably about 16 or 18 that way. So it'll fit this way. What I can do is, instead of having it coming out straight, I can clock it aiming towards the motor. So at that point, I can have the bottom one, but I have to have it go in front of the radiator and then go into the Pro Charger that way. So, you know, it's running that tube, and it's a 4-inch tube, running it right here in front of it and then coming up towards the Pro Charger. Well, at that point, I really want to have, you know, a 4-inch aluminum line going that way. Is it going to be, am I even going to be able to do it? You know, do I have enough room from the radiator, the fans, flex plate, and all that? So that's when I started thinking of just getting it away from moving parts. So that's where this front one started to come a little bit more into play, which made a little bit more sense. This would be an easier package, because I can literally just come here, go up, come here, go up, or I can come over here on the driver's side, go right to the Pro Charger, and then go above, and then go up. So it's, right now I'm kind of stuck. I'm not sure which one I really want to go with. So, but the first things first is the motor's got to get completely done. and I'll probably end up just using one of Steve's air-to-water intercoolers that he's got for the dyno there. And then after everything's done, buy it from Chisel, and then have him do, you know, one of his. So those are the two that I'm thinking of. Not sure which way to go yet, but it's not crucial right now. It's just kind of thinking of things before I pull the motor out. So we're back at it here on the old man's car. I just did a few things there on the black car just to get some things figured out. I had to get the motor out of the car. That's all done. Engine block sitting over in front of the Camaro. Getting ready to bring that stuff out on Wednesday. Going to bring that stuff out to Steve, and we're going to start the processes of the new motor on that. Now on this, I ended up having to add a chunk of cable here for the main line going back to the battery. So I got that in, copper ended it, and then heat sleeves or shrink sleeve on that. And then we're going to run some nice wire loom like what we did here, but still leaving everything kind of raw just to make sure if I have to do something I can get to it easy. Anyways, so now what I'm doing is somewhere in front of me. I have another distribution block set up somewhere. Apparently, oh, here it is. So I got another one of these guys. This is going to be for all the grounds. So I'm going to set that up right here on the side. So I'm going to drill that out. We're going to get this on. So let's do it. Now we have our main power source running. Now we have our grounds running. So at that point we got everything power-wise to here that we need. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dummy up relays, sorry. But these are going to be just, like I said, I'm going to dummy these up. I got 3 of them, fuel pump, water pump, fan. And I'm going to run them down here at the bottom. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm just going to dummy it up now. I'm not putting them on yet, but I just want to get the holes drilled in there and make sure everything's got plenty of clearance, which I know it does. But I want to start hooking up coil power to the MSD box, start wiring up towards the leash controller and stuff like that. Get this stuff kind of wired up, and then what I'm going to do is, you know, I got to bring power to the box itself, to the main switch, and then, you know, I got everything down here. Well, this is when I'll start going into the relays and then spreading out from this system. But with what's on this right now, I just want to get power to that first. Power going up to the main box. Ground's hooked up, power's hooked up there. Now we're doing coil and battery power going to the box. So now we have overhead switches, we got power on there, everything turns on. Now I'm worrying about hitting this. One of the things that you might have to do if you don't have the right ends is you might have to do a little bit of notching, kind of like what I'm doing right there, to be able to get these to actually slide inside the grooves here on your MSD box. Don't get carried away and get too crazy with it, because I'll show you what one looks like without the notches on it. Yeah, that's your before, here's your after. A lot of times people will fight with them, or they'll put in what I would consider more of like the fork style. These guys like that. Bad part with those is they can pop out on you. They pop out on you, you're screwed. So I just go through, like I said, knock the corners down a little bit, they slide in and out nice and easy, and you can keep on trucking and keep on moving forward.
I wasn't surprised to see it, but I wasn't sure of all the history of it, whether it was a predecessor to the Corvette.
That was the prototype to the Vet.
That was a prototype?
That was the ones that they crush. Barrett Jackson, was it Barrett Jackson? I think it was Barrett Jackson just had up the prototype 1954 Corvette. There was a few of them, but they had the prototype 54 Corvette that normally they would crush them. Well, somebody ended up completely restoring this thing. They found it after it was, I'll say, kind of crushed. And they restored it, put it up, and it sold for $3 million? It's about $3 million. And it was just one of those cars that you just, you know, you didn't believe still existed. An amazing car that started the entire Corvette craze, you know. I mean, imagine having enough money to where you can buy something that is a one of one. You know, it's not like you're gonna actually take it out on the street and drive it, but it's just something to look at and go, nobody else has got this. You know, something very legendary. Always looking at cool stuff like that. Now, after I get done doing this, then we put on some shrink sleeve. Just to kind of protect the ends, make sure everything's good. Make sure we don't get anything into the actual connector. Molten, burning lava, burning rubber. Or things like that. So it's just going through and spend a little extra time, and even then, the extra time that I'm doing, this is not the most professional wiring job in the world, but it's just taking the safety precautions to make sure that it's a decent job. That we won't have any problems, everything will work correctly, and the old man can enjoy himself and have some fun racing.
He remembers what button means what.
That's why we make sure everything is written out in very large letters, so you can even see it through your bifocals. Ha ha ha. Like so. So those will be ready to go on there. Then I'm going to make a couple of thicker cabled lines going, like I said, there's my positive, there's my negative. It's going to be these two bottom ones, and I'm just going to go from there to there to the big posts, because that's going to be the most draw, is going to be this box more so than, you know, going through a relay and doing like a water pump or anything like that. Okay, so I am done for the day on the old man's car right now. So we are moving over here to Schuler's car, and we are putting in a new front windshield. Oh, look at those sexy legs. Oh, those pasty, sexy legs. So, oh, you still got your front nose up. Oh, that's right, you're still fiddling on. He is working on a transmission line on this thing, or tranny cable. Got the seat belts in. So we got his quick cam locks in there, so you can see how pretty that looks. Nice and pretty like. But then you guys got the idea of the seat belt set up in the back. All that's going, so it's coming along. But he just went through, cleaned up all of the edges. We want this as clean as we can possibly get, because once you actually lay down your lace, well, you want to make sure you're getting a good seal, because nothing worse than sitting there washing your car and you have a leaky window. So, exactly. So we're going to go through, and he just got that new window, or windshield, sorry, for the car, and we're going to show you guys how we end up putting that in. You pretty much going to lay down your window lace all the way around, and it's about 3/16 thick and about 3/8, or did you get half inch wide? 3/8 wide. So we're going to lay that in and have one person on the inside of the car, each person on the outside of the car, lay it down, and then just set it in, push around the edges, and go from there. Old man's going to end up painting some valve covers. We're going to go black. Sinister. Mr. Sinister. Black. And then do the polished centers, just like what was on the old black car over there. He liked the look of those ones, so he's going to go out and paint those up. So,
This will be the first time for me.
oh yeah. So, all kinds of fun stuff going on. Let's get to it. All right. We're going to do our little dry run here. We got the rivet in. We want to make sure we got the ribbon in the right place, so we're not going to set it down. Just set your finger up on top. You can kind of feel where the ribbon is, where your fingers are underneath. You can feel about how high the ribbon is. I'm going to take it and put it towards the edge. Make sure your corner edge down there. See where that cut is? I gotta bring mine up a little bit. But I'm gonna roll my ribbon on the edge a little bit more. So, always make sure you do a dry run. It's like measure twice, cut once. Well, do your dry run and make sure you get everything right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the ribbon, we're gonna roll it in a little bit. So I would take it and run it to the edge. Get close to that edge, closer to the edge. See? And then that corner right here on that side, then you can come up with a quarter inch. It was making contact, but it wasn't enough. And then we're going to put that windshield in. So like I said before, it's pretty obvious here. You want to double, triple check before you put that windshield in, because once it's in and it makes contact, you're pretty much stuck. Ha ha ha, no pun intended, but you don't want to smush it down. Sometimes you can get lucky and just have a little bit of wiggle room, like say you have to shift it to like the old man side or my side, and this is what we're doing. We're looking around, being real nice with it, and you can sometimes stick your fingers in there and just kind of push it over to the side. We're just making sure that it's sticking all the way around, that there's no gaps in it, nothing bad like that, because obviously you don't want to wash the car and have a frickin' water leak. How good does that air freshener smell?
It does smell.
Is it peach?
I don't know. It's not peach. I don't know. It's Camaro Central.
This is, it's sealing, but it's, it could just be because of the curvature where the,
What we're looking for is, you see the smush?
no,
That's what we're looking for. We're seeing, making sure everything's got a good smush to it. That way you're not going to get any leaks in it.
here we are.
So that's what the old man is fighting with over there. Aftermarket windshields, sometimes you got to watch out for just big monster gaps. I mean, that's the size of my finger there. And we were fighting it over on that side. It's
Stop.
just is what it is.
Feel this right in here. Put your finger right in there.
Is it plopping through?
No, I dropped it down.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
This should be here.
So now he has a non-cracked, crappy looking windshield in the car. Because that thing, you had what,
This
3,
is
4
my-
cracks?
This is my logo from the 80s.
Oh, the Camaro across the top,
80s
yeah.
logo on there.
Well, where's the old windshield?
Well, that's gone. Yeah, I was gonna say that's bye-bye. But it looks good. This is one of the big things I've been waiting for. Now we can finally get the hood on the car and start trimming up the hood. That big old 6.5-inch Sunoco that's on there, and we can actually see what that's going to look like. But that was a big step because he hasn't been able to drive the car because obviously there's no windshield in it. Unless he's going to put some like aviator goggles on and drive down the frickin' highway, or drive down the highway, drive down the road with those. Yeah. The Red Baron!
Got some of those.
Yeah, maybe we'll call the car the Red Baron. There you go.
Oh, better. Feel a lot better.
So that was a big step. Big step.
I gotta spray those covers in here. It's too
Oh,
Oh, it's just going everywhere.
going everywhere, going nuts, going crazy. All right, you guys. Well, he's going to go out there, paint the valve covers up. I can show you what those look like later on. But we want to get the windshield in, got the wiring done. Well, I've got the wiring done. Got some of the wiring done. Engine for the Camaro is sitting on the cherry picker. I'm going to end up throwing that out to Steve on probably Wednesday. Steve! And then say goodbye to the nitrous stuff. That's going to be going on the old man's Camaro over there. So that's going to be a wrap up today. Hope you guys dug it. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to hit that share, hit that like, that subscribe. And we will catch you guys on another one. Until
We meet again.
we meet again, my fellow hot rodders. All right, you guys take care.